Everybody, my name is Victor Medina. I am a certified adjunct practice advisor as well as a member of the team that's putting together the My Great Life Planner. And I want to talk to you today a little bit about the changes in the most recent version of the My Great Life Planner to help you walk through a little bit of what's different in the document itself, as well as tips and tricks for you to be able to use this successfully. Now, if you're watching this video, the expectation is that you're already a little bit familiar with the My Great Life Planner. We're just going to be talking about the changes and the updates and some of the things that we're doing to kind of improve on this version that we're working on. But if you have any questions about the planner in general and its use and sort of all the tools that are included inside of that, one of the things that we recommend is that you watch another video that I've created that's a little bit longer. It's about 30 minutes or so, and it's going to walk you through each one of the tools along the way, giving you some guidance about how to use each of the specific sections in the My Great Weekend, things like that, okay? So otherwise, let's jump into some of the changes. The first thing that you'll note, of course, is that the marketing around it, the imaging around it is a little bit different. And so I wanted to sort of show my version of it to you here. This is My Great Life Planner. It's the one I've been working on. And of course, the cover is a little bit different, and so is some of the image on the front initial page. So you'll see this here from the My Great Life Planner. Again, a lot of the iconography of it is being updated to reflect some of the changes that are part of the Atticus move towards modernizing its look and its marketing generally, okay? As soon as you get into it, you're going to see a few things. The first thing that you're going to see is that the number of pages is a little bit less than before, and one of the reasons for that is going to be in the My Great Weekend pages. So we're going to spend some time there. But the table of contents will give you the layout for the beginning pages on how you're going to be doing your planning for a yearly, quarterly basis, and then we're going to get into the number of weeks. There are still 14 weeks here that are included, so that means that you can pick this planner up basically at any time during the period of a quarter in the middle of the month, and then being able to get to the end of a particular quarter. So sometimes there are questions like, when should I start this? Should I wait till the beginning of a quarter that matches my coaching quarter, or should I wait for the fiscal quarter? Well, whenever you receive this, I'm going to recommend you start using it right away. It's a great tool for you to incorporate to your daily habits and your practices as soon as you get it. But if you do want to have things sort of optimized in the way that you're going to be using it, and you're part of a group coaching program with Atticus, then one of the things that I'll recommend is that you have it coincide with the beginning or around your group coaching program. With the idea being is that you're usually in those programs setting out with some 90-day focus on things that you're going to be doing for the next quarter. Those would be a good opportunity for you to carry those over into this document itself, and then being able to use the planner to reflect back on the projects that you've selected for your 90-day focus. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and go into it. First couple of pages talk about My Great Life, and this is going to be a tool that, of course, you've used in other Atticus programs. I'm going to refer to another video that I've created that will walk you through doing that if you're interested. Then we dive down into My 1 Year Focus, or 1 Year Focus. That's in there. That's going to have you carry over 10 projects that you're going to be focusing on for the next 365 days. And what's probably common in here is to carry this over from one planner to the next. So if you're using one of the older planners, or if you're watching this video as a refresher and you have a version of this already, I would carry over your 1 year focus from the prior planners, assuming that those are still things that you want to focus on for the next year. As soon as we're done with that, we get into the My 90-Day Focus, and this is going to have you select 10 projects. Again, not many changes to this page for its planning, very similar to the kind of worksheets that you'd be using in a group coaching program. Of course, if you're in an individual coaching program, you're going to want to talk with your individual one-on-one coach about your 90-day focus and how you're going to layer it into this planning. And the next thing from that is going to have a breakdown of 3 of the 10 90-day focus items that you're going to plan with a little bit more specificity. Again, not a lot changed in these pages, and if you have more questions, certainly talk with your coach about that. Next page is through that, talk through a monthly program. Not a lot of changes here either. You're going to sense the theme. We're actually going to spend some time on some changes that are changed in a second. But as a reminder, this is for you to set out the next 3 months with a calendar look. So you're going to write the name of the month, the days as they appear. So you're going to start, if the first of the month starts on a Wednesday, you'll go ahead and pick out that third box in there. The 2 smaller boxes on the end are for Saturdays and Sundays. Then you're going to write out the rest of the month. with the expectation that you're using this to set the large blocks, the large rocks in your life to kind of know what the next 3 months are going to look like based on what's already in your calendar. If we get through this, we see the first set of pages that are different. And so we spent a lot of time updating the Migrate Weekend pages. And one of the things that we did was actually shrink the number of overall weekend pages. It was our feeling that we'd included too many. First of all, we think and believe that there's a lot of value in planning out your great week, but we wanted to make it a more streamlined activity. So the first couple of pages are about your ability to relax and rejuvenate. So this first page in My Great Weekend is for you to help plan what you're going to do to kind of fill up the energy coffers for taking on the next week and be mindfully engaged with certain areas like your physical health, your relationships, and your ability to give back to your community. The next page after that is your weekly reflection, and this is your first opportunity to look backwards on the last week and figure it out kind of what worked and what didn't. And there's 3 tools for you to do that. The first tool is the learning bridge. You're going to have 3 boxes in there for you to write out what worked and what didn't, and then why. So in each one of those, you might have 3 things that you're reflecting back in the past of what worked. The reason for that, by the way, is you're going to identify the things that are working and figure out how you're going to be able to replicate them, and you're going to figure out what didn't work and figure out ways to avoid having that happen again. The next block in there is for your lessons learned. So what is the lesson and why it was important? And then we want to give you an opportunity to reflect back on areas that you are grateful for. We think gratitude is an excellent exercise for you to retain perspective on what it is that's important in your life. So this is going to be part of your weekly reflection. The more you can spend time in appreciation and recognition for the blessings that you're having along the way, the better off you're going to be able to maintain perspective for how you're going to tackle on the next week. So my weekly reflection has been condensed down to 1 page with a little bit smaller blocks in here, and this is the way that you would use that. The next page from that is part of your planning for the next week. And again, here, not a lot of changes into the cash flow focuser. We still have 10 things that we want you to focus on as being the primary activities linked back to essentially what is the most important or bringing in the most amount of cash for your law firm. And then below that are going to be your top opportunities or marketing activities. So that's going to be for the upcoming week. It's not overall in general. We're not talking about a big project that you're going to be taking on for your entire marketing department and activities for the year, but just in the next week, what are your top opportunities and top marketing activities? What is it you're going to engage with? The next page after that talks about My Great Week, and you're going to select 10 things that would make it a great week for what's coming up if you were able to accomplish it. And from there, distill down 3 top things that it would be a great week if you just knocked out those 3 themselves. Then from there, you're going to have your health builder habits as well as your habit of building habits. And then below there, an opportunity for you to write down some decisions, ideas, or tolerations. As a reminder, just as it was in the prior version of the My Great Life Planner, there's an area in the back for you to be able to write down a list of tolerations. You'll see it in the table of contents. And the way that I would recommend that you use this is use the tolerations page in the back of the book as a holding pen for you to notice what you're tolerating and kind of list all that stuff out. So you might put in there, need to change my windshield wiper, clean out the garage, tolerating a bad team member, whatever it is, you're going to list those out. But then you have a repository of items to draw from in every week. And you would take a few of those, bring them over in the beginning of the week, cross them out. My experience is you're never going to run out of things that you are noticing that you're tolerating. So it would be good for you to keep a list. That way, it's really going to be evergreen. You're going to find a lot of opportunities to make those make progress on tolerations. Find things that you don't want to tolerate and knock them out. If you spent 14 weeks, a 90-day quarter, knocking out 2, 3, 4 tolerations every week, imagine how great you would feel. Definitely take that on. And as we get into the pages for the week, we do have some changes here that we want to let you know about. One of the bigger changes is in the length of time that we have set aside for you to plan over the course of the day. So you'll see that it begins at 7 o'clock in the morning and ends at 6 p.m. in the evening. And you might say to me, but Victor, you don't understand. I work longer hours than that. And then my response back to you is, maybe you shouldn't be working so many hours. You need to build a firm that can survive with you really only working 11 hours a day. I think that's probably enough. But we do want you to constrain your activities to that period of time, and what you would do is essentially use the beginning of the work day to be able to go ahead and set out what is your big blocks for that day so that you have some reasonable expectations about how much you could accomplish in a particular day. So if you figure out that you've got a whole day of court, this is not a day to be lining up a whole big list of things to get done. It might be a great day if you just survive, and that would be okay. But on the left-hand side, you're going to pick up 3 activities. It would make it a great day if you were able to get that done. By the way, a quick hint here. Set the rules of the game so that you can win, right? Make the items small so you can knock them out of the park. Don't put in like, I'm going to revamp my entire website today. Probably not. Maybe if you just made some comments on what needed to get changed, that would make it a great day and we can build momentum. Below that, you're going to find bonus 3 tasks, and then you're going to have some marketing activities and habits. Same thing with your health builder habits and your habit of builder habits. And then when we're at the right-hand side underneath the timed calendar component of it, you're going to have your top wins and insights of the day. Now, we have some structural changes to the way the planner has been designed. You'll notice that we've tried to move the writing as much as possible away from the spine in the middle. So we know that most of you spend the day with the planner essentially held out flat. That's the way that I use mine. And what we want to do is really limit the activities of what you're writing along the spine to maybe just check marks along the way. So we tried to shift some of that, including the dates and the other pages, things that you're going to put on every day and continue to write. We want to give you some extra space for that, and best as we could, of course, increasing the margins. The other thing that we did was go ahead and create additional space along the way. So we're trying to make this more user-friendly so that you have actually more room to write. It's one of the reasons why we took the amount of time in a day that's 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and made it fit in exactly the same slot as before. So there are fewer hours and it's exactly in the same space, so you have more room to write in there, because some of you were remarking that you would like more room to write along the way. Now listen, those are the changes for this, and this is what makes this version different from the one before. We are continually improving this. This is, of course, one of the most important things that we think that Atticus is putting together as a product, as a tool to help you essentially lead your great life and make the progress that you want in your practice. If you have any suggestions, the team is always listening to those people that are using the planner and finding new ways to improve upon it, and we commit to continually improving this product along the way. And of course, we are open to suggestions. Last thing I want to leave you with before I close for this video, a lot of you are receiving this on a quarterly basis, and the other one is half filled or not completely filled, and you didn't create a habit where you were using it all the time. You think, what am I doing with this? Should I just quit it? Should I be using it all the time? And here I get to play coach to you just for a few minutes, and it goes like this. Any amount of time that you use this tool is going to benefit you, whether you're using it on a regular basis every day or whether you pick it up for a week and you put it back down and you pick it up again. I think the most important thing is that you commit to engaging with it, and if for some reason you set aside for a week or you're not as faithful in writing it out as you were before, that's okay. We want you just to restart, re-engage with it, because we know that if you could lead a life by design, if you could run your practice by deliberate, strategic thinking, even if you did it 80% of the time, 50% of the time, imagine the progress you could make. So be gentle on yourself in the use of this tool. We're being gentle with you as well. We want you to use the tool, use it as best as you can, pick up with it as you need to, and if for some reason it slips by the wayside, just pick it up again and it will be okay. We want you to use this tool. We think that your practice is going to be great by it. That's it for the changes to this version of the planner. We look forward to hearing comments from you and look forward to seeing the tremendous progress it's going to help you make in your practice and your life. We've already heard back from so many of you what a wonderful tool you think this is. We appreciate that. We think so too, and can't wait to hear more great stories. Good luck with your use of the My Great Life Planner, and we'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.